I know most young people, you don't even know what this is. It's called a radio. I'm just playing. But, back in the day, you know how it would be? You would be kind of staticky when you would, sometimes you're trying to hear a message and it's kind of hard to hear because you're getting mixed messages. And that's what we want to talk about today. Hi, and welcome to Faith in Front. Today we want to talk about how we can send mixed messages as Christians. And when we find ourselves, and we can all find ourselves in what the world might call a hypocritical place where our lives or our words, actions are not really reflecting the image of Christ. Just for full transparency, today on my way home, someone got right up on me. You know, sometimes someone can get right up on your tail because they're trying to let you know they want you to move. And so I didn't like it, so I moved over. But you know how when they come up on side of you to pass and you kind of give them the look, And to be honest with you, in today's times, that's not even really safe because, people are just crazy today, right? It's too much road rage going on. So from a practical standpoint, it really wasn't wise to do. But even more important than that, from a spiritual standpoint, I wasn't reflecting Christ at that time. And so we can all do things that can send mixed messages. And so I was thinking about this issue, and it's something that's been somewhat popular on social media, and it's this song by Beyoncé called Church Girl. And the reason why I'm addressing it is because we live in some dark times. We really live in some dark times, and as Christians, we have to really buckle down even harder to be a light, be that peculiar people that God says that we are supposed to be. So if you haven't heard, Beyoncé sampled a part of Twinkie Clark's song, a song that she recorded years ago. And she put it in her song. She incorporated it in her song, Church Girl. Now, when I first saw Twinkie Clark give a thank you, she gave a thank you to Beyoncé for using a sample of her song in her song. I was like, okay, well, she's just, giving Beyonce a shout out. That's okay. I went out and I listened to a little bit of it, and I was going to even let you hear a little bit of it, but it's pretty vulgar. I mean, I got about partway through and was like, okay, I got to let this go. And so there's been this kind of back and forth on YouTube. Those are like, well, it's nothing wrong with it. It's okay. Now, after I listened to what I listened to and saw the lyrics, I was asking myself, how could Twinkie Clark thank her for incorporating something that God gave her into something that's so vulgar, right? I'm sure that when God gave Twinkie Clark her song that Beyonce used some of, I'm sure it was like any other thing God gives us, it's meant to glorify him, right? So I was trying to figure out, well, why would she thank her?
There's a line of a song I wrote that Beyoncé included in her new song, Church Girl, that says, center of thy will. That means I want to be in the will of God. Thanks, Beyoncé, for listening to my music, and I hope it blesses your soul.
Someone else who gave a reaction to it was Marvin Sapp. And I'm saying this not to come in an attackful way towards the people that I'm mentioning, because I'm actually fans of them. I've listened to the Clark sisters. I'm an old Commission head, right? I mean, I'm true fan, got all the old CDs, right? So this is really just one brother, Christian brother, to those who are Christians who are somewhat defending this, and I'm trying to figure out why. So let's listen to what Marvin Sapp had to say.
There's conversation now about.
Oh, get over it.
I know.
We always make it
secular artists using gospel songs. You don't mind.
Hey, look. Never Would Have Made It has been sampled by DJ Khaled. Never Would Have Made It has been sung and by Tiana Taylor and sampled by Yeezy. Never Would Have Made It has been sampled by it's on the Carter 5. All of these records have gone multi-platinum. The reason why I'm not tripping, because music business is a business. No matter what my intent was my intent when I recorded the song. You know, secular artists do this because they honor us. It's about honor. And then not only that, they say, you know, we honor you so much, we're gonna put some money in your pocket. And it's a business. So I'm like, everybody went around here tripping about samples and all that kind of stuff. You know, shoot, those three artists in themselves helped me put my kids through college.
Now, as you can see, he even said that some have used his song in secular music, secular songs. Now, I don't know what lyrics were applied to Marvin Sapp's song, but this video is actually him really responding to what Beyoncé did with the sample of Twinkie Clark, and I found it a little troubling because I'm like, get over it. How can something God give you in the church, you'll say, well, this is anointed. God gave me this. And yes, and I'm sure it was to minister to you and to minister to others. And then when someone kind of hijacks what God gave you and then just applies all this vulgarity to it, this is what I'm talking about is not an attack on Beyoncé. Okay, I don't know where Beyoncé is with God. Let's listen what Dorinda Clark Cole, Twinkie's sister, had to say.
All right, now y'all leave Beyoncé alone. Leave her alone. Yeah, y'all leave Beyoncé alone. Center of his will. Leave her alone. As long as she got something in there, that's all right.
Now she comes on and says, leave Beyoncé alone. Well, as I said, this is not about Beyoncé. I'm trying to figure you out, Dorinda. What do you mean? This is not about her, Beyoncé. I'm trying to figure out why Christians who are more so in the public sphere and you have more of an influence, how you can somewhat appear as if you're justifying such vulgarity being integrated into something that was given to glorify God. That's what I'm trying to figure out. You might say, well, why are you coming at them? Why are you saying what you're saying? Well, as I said earlier, we're living in some dark times. And when we, as this, sometimes we can send mixed messages. And as you can hear, when the static is there, you really can't hear maybe the message that's trying to be communicated, right? And sometimes as Christians, we can send mixed messages. When we allow too much static of fleshliness and worldliness to come in there, it clouds the message. And we're living in dark times. Let's look at what Scripture says, and I'll just give this one scripture. It says in John 17:14-16, Jesus says, I have given them your word, and the world has hated them because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. I do not ask you to take them out of the world, but to keep them from the evil one. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Yes, we are in the world, but sometimes we can't, in the name of being relevant, in the name of being attractive, we want to let people know, hey, being a Christian, it's cool. It's not boring. It's this and that. But that's a very thin line of trying to be relevant and then you kind of cross that line where it's like, now you're sending a mixed message. And it's so important for us to keep that in mind, because you may have heard the statement that there's really 5 gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and the 5th one is you. And most people are going to read the 5th gospel quicker than they read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They're going to look at your life. And if it's sending mixed messages, then it could cause that person to stumble, because we want people to come to Christ, right? That's why we're still in this world. That's why when Jesus said, don't take them out of the world, because he wants us to glorify him in this world. And so I say to myself, I say first, okay? And I say to you, let's be careful of the messages that we send, because I'm sure that Marvin Sapp, Dorinda Clark Cole, Twinkie Clark, they would all agree with me that we're living in some dark times. Well, what we have to remember as Christians is that darkness is the absence of light. That's all darkness is. So these dark times that we're living in is really an indictment against the church. Because why? We've dimmed our light for whatever reason. Whenever we're hypocritical, whenever we send mixed messages and things like that, that dims the light of Christ that's supposed to shine through. And once again, this is really it's not really meant to be confrontational. It's just one Christian brother to other Christians to say, hey, I don't know if Dorinda Clark Cole or Marvin Sapp, I'm a small fish out here in YouTube land. They may not ever see this video, but if they should happen to run across it, I want them to know that it's really not meant to attack, but to say, if you did run across it, please in the comments, give me some clarity, because I'm struggling with something that God gave to be sacred and to glorify him being interjected and used as a bed or part of something that totally glorifies the opposite. It glorifies vulgarity. And then the fact that she it's called church girl, to put all women and young girls who go to church, put them in this light of just being totally fleshly on Saturday night and then being at church. Now, truth be told, yes, there are some women out there like that. But to use a broad brush with a title called church girl, I don't see how Christians could give that a 2 thumbs up. So, or justify it, or say, oh, calm down, or just leave Beyonce alone. What? It's not even about Beyonce. It's about not sending mixed messages, because we're here to glorify God by the power of his Spirit. The motive of my heart is to encourage us to not send mixed messages. If there's some clarity, if there's something I've missed, oh yeah, put it in the comments, okay? Because maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm missing something. And please like and subscribe. As usual, keep your faith in front.